Hey, what's up you guys? Today I'm going to clean the interior of the boat, specifically the vinyl, and I'm going to show you exactly what my process is for doing a deep clean scrub of the boat's interior vinyl, okay? Okay, so as you know, I'm a ambassador of Scooter's products, and their interior shine is their boat interior vinyl cleaning product. And so that's the soap that I'm going to use to clean all the dirt, grime, and sunscreen away from the vinyl. At the very end, I always use 303 Aerospace Protectant, and that is a vinyl conditioner and also a UV protectant. If you don't put on a UV protectant and a vinyl conditioner, the vinyl will eventually dry out, crack, especially with a lot of exposure to the sun. Fortunately, I have indoor storage, so that's not as big of a problem, but still I use my boat enough that if I don't put on 303, the vinyl will deteriorate a lot faster. I use a couple of clean microfibers. I tend to have more than I need just in case, so I don't have to go in and out of the boat a lot. And I have two plastic scrub brushes. One is just a hand block, and both are medium to soft plastic bristles. You don't want to use hard bristles. And then I have a thin one to get into those corners, hard to reach places, yeah, but mainly I just use the main hand block scrub brush. Then I have two buckets of clean water. The smaller one I use to just move around in the boat, and the bigger one I use toward the end when I got to clean up all my microfibers, and just saves time on having to get off the boat, dump the water out of this one, and yeah, just keeping the scrub brushes and the microfibers clean. So as you can see, my vinyl doesn't look dirty. That's one of the benefits of having a gray vinyl or a darker gray or darker color vinyl. It doesn't show the dirt as easy, but at the same time, the bad part of it is you don't know how dirty your vinyl is getting. So you're gonna see after I go through the entire cleaning process, especially from just the evidence of how dirty the clean water will turn in the buckets, and yeah, then you'll get a clear indication of just how dirty your vinyl is. So I'm gonna start off with obviously spraying the Scooter's interior shine liquid onto the vinyl. Let it set for a few seconds so it can have a chance to kind of set into the vinyl and start to bring up the dirt. And then I'm going to go through scrubbing, a light scrub with either the soft bristled brushes. The thinner one is used for corners, hard to reach places, and then I mainly use the bigger hand scrubber for main flat surfaces and bigger areas. And then I go through and wipe with clean microfibers, and I constantly wash the microfibers out in the bucket of fresh water to keep the rags clean. You never want to wash or clean materials or vinyl with dirty products, right? So always keep your rags that you're going to wipe the surfaces with, keep them clean. So I always start with the top down on the vinyl. So I removed the pads from the bow, and I usually start from the bow and work my way backwards. So I remove all the removable pads out of the way, and I start with the surfaces that are intact and in place. Okay, so I know that it's probably hard to see, but it's already, the vinyl's already a lot cleaner. And just after cleaning out my microfiber one time, the water's already dirty. I tend to give a little bit more time and effort into the places that are exposed to the sun and also wind hitting it with dirt and so forth. So the front of the boat, anything on the top, I will tend to scrub a little bit more just because it's more vulnerable to exposure. Also, I know some people were talking about using the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser on their boat. Do not do that. Okay, your vinyl has built-in UV protection, and you want to make sure that you're not using an abrasive, a strong abrasive like a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser pad, which would just cut through that and damage your vinyl and basically minimize the longevity of the material. Also, when I'm scrubbing with the medium to soft bristle brushes, I'm just scrubbing very gently, very lightly. I'm not scrubbing hard because, again, even though it's soft bristles, you don't want to damage the vinyl. All right? So if you notice, after I spray and scrub the surface and the vinyl and I wipe it down with the microfiber, I'll clean the microfiber because you'll still have some soapy residue on the vinyl. So I go with a clean wash microfiber and just wipe all the excess cleaner off the vinyl. Okay. I've only done maybe 5% of the boat so far, and I've only washed my rag twice. I'm going to show you the water already. Now, it's not super dark, but it's already turning gray. So just in 1/4 panel, or not even a quarter, a tenth of the panel is dirty, all right? So even with the bubbles from the interior shine, you know, you can hopefully see that the color of the water went from clear and now it's turning to gray. If your bow has an underseat fat sack system, you're going to want to make sure that where you're not stepping near any kind of hose attachments where the hose attaches to the fat sack, so you're not putting pressure on that seam where it could potentially detach the connection from the hose to the bag. Let me show you down here. So when you're walking through, that's where the water comes into the front bag, okay? And then back here you have a disconnect that's where the empties are, so you don't want to be stepping on those spots, okay? You want to make sure that you're not putting any additional pressure. The second thing is you want to get scrubbed down at the very, very bottom of where the vinyl will meet the removable pads. And the reason why is a lot of dirt and bugs get trapped there. And even though you might have a dark interior, what's going to happen is if you don't clean it and the bug dies, all the guts are going to stain the vinyl. Okay, and maybe like this panel, as you can see, is dark, but maybe the pad has a lighter gray, and that lighter gray is going to get stained. Okay, so you want to scrub that area down really, really well and make sure that all bug particles are removed. Okay, so the panel, the dark black panel around the speaker area and the cup holders, I don't scrub that. What I do is I use my wet microfiber that has a bit of the interior shine soap, and I just wipe it clean. And at the very end, when I fit, the final step is using 303 Aerospace Protectant as a UV protectant and as a vinyl conditioner. I'll wipe it clean with that as well. But Okay guys, so I've gone through the paneling in the bow. I'm going to do the walkway, which are two small panels, and then I'm actually going to get through the bow removable pads, and then finish off the bow with using 303 Aerospace Protectant. Again, it's a vinyl conditioner, and it also provides protection from the UV rays sunlight. Before we get to that, I wanted to mention two things. Number one, just like when you're working on the gel coat, you want to work in like 2 to 3 foot sections. Work in small sections. Don't let the interior shine dry up, because then you're going to end up going through more product. Number two, you also want to make sure that the vinyl is damp with the cleaning material, and so you can really get in and agitate the surface and let the dirt lift up so you can wipe it away clean. Second thing is, one of the rules in boating is you don't let people in your boat use spray sunscreen, like spray on sunscreen, because the aerosol in it leaves a sticky adhesive residue on your vinyl surfaces. So if you notice, like in your boat, if you constantly use spray on sunscreen and all of a sudden you're getting these marks on your vinyl that look like glue, spotty glue, and it's hard to remove, it's because of your spray on sunscreen. It's much better to just use regular lotion type sunscreen. May be a little bit more inconvenient, but it's a lot easier to clean off your vinyl, because it does account for a lot of the dirt that accumulates on your interior and on your vinyl. Okay, before I wipe away this panel that I just scrubbed, I wanted to zoom in on a couple of pieces of debris that lifted away from the panel that you couldn't even see. Okay, and there's like 3 spots. Hopefully you're able to see it. Hopefully it's coming in focus. Yeah, it just falls away. That came off the panel, and I think it looks like bug guts. Okay, so again, just because you think it looks clean doesn't mean that it is. So you want to make sure that, again, you're scrubbing the panel very clean with interior shine, because it'll lift away the dirt and any debris that's stuck in crevices and in the fabric texture, and get your vinyl really clean. Okay guys, so I've done the bow. Other than the pads, I'm gonna work on the pads next. But another thing I want to mention, at least what I do in my cleaning process, is I move the pads to a dirty spot when I'm cleaning the bow. And that's because when you're using the brush, obviously it's gonna spray and put dirty spots all over the place before you wipe it up. So I just get it out of the way, and then I'm gonna scrub it in the areas that still need to be clean. So that way I'm not cleaning the pads, the dirty pads, in an area that's already been cleaned, and then I gotta go over and wipe it up clean again. I hope that makes sense. So typically I move the pads to the cockpit area, and I just do it on the floor and scrub there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over it with the final process, which is applying 303 Aerospace Protectant, and then put it into the bow, and the bow will be done. And then I'll move to the cockpit and then the rear engine hatch. If you bought a used boat and you're trying to clean the interior, and your previous owner or owners didn't take care of the vinyl and there's some stains, which can happen, no matter what product you use, including interior shine, sometimes they won't remove the stain that's already embedded in the vinyl. So just be aware of that. But it could make that stain much less visible and easier to clean up as you go along, obviously. But if you already have an embedded stain that can't be removed, unfortunately, the only thing maybe you could do is put it out in the sun and let the sun fade it as much as possible. But no matter what you use, it probably is going to stay there. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to apply the 303 Aerospace Protectant, which again is a vinyl conditioner and a UV protectant to the vinyl in the bowl, and then move forward. Okay, just so you're aware, 303 Aerospace Protectant is like a silicone-based spray that again coats your vinyl. So number one, it protects it from the harsh elements, but also makes it so much easier to clean as the season goes on. I usually use it maybe once a month, if that, just to make sure that, you know, like I said, it's easy to clean the dirt off. And especially here in Utah, where the lake I go to, Willard Bay, is super buggy, so I use it to really make sure that it's easy to remove the bugs and the bug guts, because if I don't, and eventually it wears off and the vinyl is exposed, the bug guts just smear everywhere and it takes a lot longer to clean off. I also try to spray on the tops of the vinyl because obviously that's the most exposure to the sun and the elements, so maybe sometimes I even add a second layer. But the one downfall about 303 is because it is silicone base, it gets slick. And so for a little while, it's going to feel like it's going to get trapped on your foot or your feet, and you're going to feel slippery on the interior of your vinyl. So just be aware of that as well. And again, in the panels where it has the speaker, the bow speaker, and the cup holders, I'm just going to use a little bit of spray, 303 spray, on my clean separate rag and wipe those areas to add a layer of protectant. So hopefully you can see the shine on it, so you know that there's a film. It's not that dull black, but it's got a nice glossy shine. You can also use the 303 on the trim, the rubber trim of your windshields. I also use it to put on my rubber board racks to also make it easier to clean. It gets really buggy on the drive home to and from the lake, so it's covered in bugs. So if I don't put 303 on it, it takes a lot longer to clean off. Alright, so the bow and the walkway is completely done. I hope you can see the difference. I bet with the gray you're not going to be able to see the difference, but up here I can totally tell the difference. And the main thing is when you look at a light gray versus when it's dirty. When it's dirty, it looks yellow. When it's clean, it actually looks gray. So all that dirt makes the gray turn yellow. So when you have a white interior, it's gonna be a lot more obvious. When you have a darker or a lighter gray type material, it's gonna be less obvious when it's dirty. So there are pros and cons to it. Again, the surfaces are going to get slick after adding the 303 because it is silicone based. So that's going to be like that for a while. What I tend to do is I get a wet, clean rag and I'll wipe the floors. Okay, you don't want to wipe the vinyl and the seats and all that because you want to let the 303 set in and do its job. But to make sure that the floors are not, caked with silicone and your feet get all slippery, you can wipe it clean with a wet rag, and it'll probably be still a little bit slick, but at least it'll help remove it quicker from the places where you don't want to be slippery. Okay guys, I want to show you just how dirty this water is. When I put the rag through it, you can see how black and dark the water is. That's just from the bow, okay? That's just from the bow. So now we're going to move on to the cockpit. Okay, now you're going to get a clear view of what the water looks like after cleaning the interior vinyl. It's dark gray to the point of getting black. And this is the third bucket in the cleaning process. So you can just see, even though you think your interior is clean, it definitely isn't. And Scooter's Products Interior Shine does a great job of lifting all that grime and suntan lotion and dirt off of the vinyl and cleaning the surface. So this is the finished product of the cockpit and the engine compartment. Again, I know it's probably hard to see. The lighting's not great, obviously, in my storage unit, but the light gray has come back to its light gray without a little bit of yellowish brown because of the dirt and so forth. And all the bug guts came out of the corners and out of the crevices. And so yeah, I'm always happy. It's been about 8 years now that I've been using Scooter's products, and I haven't found anything that I can say has pulled me away from using their 3 products. Thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it, and I hope you learned something a little bit through my cleaning process using Scooters and 303. And I'll drop a link for both products in the information below, and you can get it directly from Marine Products here in Salt Lake City. And Scooters is a local Salt Lake City company, so I try to support local companies here, and they are one of them. Their website is www.babyyourboat.com, and you can check out all their products there and get more information. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I'll make sure to respond as soon as I can. Until then, thanks a lot, you guys. Appreciate it.